Welcome back to the channel. I'm Piotr Mokry, a Dallas-based DP, photographer, gaffer with a 1-ton grit van full of Aputure lighting. So on this shoot, we are doing social media shots. 16:9 vertical video. This is a small rig car mount kit. It came in handy really well for us on this shoot. Here is our DP Chris Duncan checking out the framing as we were first initially setting everything up. And then we had the audio guy from the agency actually setting up lav mics around the vehicle to pick up different sounds. The shoot was at a nature preserve which had a lot of gravel roads and a lot of remote shoot locations. Made it a little difficult to move around too quickly. There's the new Sprinter van getting its first kick of dust and all dirty for the first time. Poor thing. This is Chris Duncan, our DP. If you watch one of our previous vlogs, he was in one of them. The audio on the camera is only scratch audio. I know it's pointing at the ground, but it's just scratch. He is running the Komodo, and then we have a Sigma lens for versatility so we could move quickly, and he's shooting vertical video in 16:9. He's running his follow focus there, which appears to be the small rig follow focus, and the easy rig setup. On this shot, he's running a gimbal and running the client's Sony camera so he can get a lightweight setup and we don't have to switch back and forth. And these are some bicycle shots, so you can see he's just running around trying to get some shots. A lot of these shots are just real quick. They're going to show up on the video for a few seconds, and that's it. But we're trying to pick up as much as we can. And then the audio guy was actually capturing some of the bicycle sounds with his system. So he taped everything on, put the lav mic in the key points to capture some of the sound so we'd have great audio for these spots. So it worked out really well. Here we're getting a fishing scene. We didn't have the best location, but we made do with what we had. Chris is actually being held up by the director producer right there and dialing in his shot, kind of giving an upward shot of the talent that's going to be fishing. And then we have the sound guy right there. We made the best of what we could for that day. And another gravel road to another location, constantly moving and grooving that day. It was a lot of fun. And then we have Chris Duncan here going in for a nice shot that's going to just push in to the action of a vehicle taking a turn on a gravel road. And there's my Sprinter. Still looks pretty even though she got all dusty that day. I'm really liking this van, except it is a little expensive on the diesel, but that's just part of it. I'm actually averaging right now 25 miles per gallon, which is great. So I went down to San Antonio and did a quick shoot, turn and burn, did the shoot, and then drove back right after the shoot and got to experience bumper-to-bumper traffic through Austin. But that's part of it. You just got to keep cranking out these gigs and making that money. Today we are doing architecture photography. This was a school that was recently finished out or is almost finished out, and we're taking photos. I have the A7R4 for the resolution, 61 megapixels. Here we have a level that's helping us get nice clean shots that are perfectly level and set up. What we also have on camera is the grid. So I used a level to get in the range, and then I finalize my verticals with the grid and make sure they're nice and straight. It's really important. I'm also shooting in a bracket, so when I take a picture, let's do one right here. I hit it, it counts down and takes 3 pictures at 3 different exposures. So then we can put it together in HDR. So it's a tedious process. I use a tripod, and I also use a geared head. And what the geared head allows me to do is these knobs, I just grab them and make fine-tune adjustments. So here I could just twist this and it's a fine-tune adjustment. I mean, you can see that it's barely moving, and that gets me on the mark. So right now you can see the line getting more distant, that center vertical line, and then I could fine-tune adjust it and line it up perfectly. So that really helps me out a lot when doing the architecture stuff. And then it comes down to framing. That's a wrap on this one. Architecture photography done. We did exteriors. It is a little gloomy out, but we've got to go with what we have. Off to the next shoot, which will be a little city event festival. It's called Grape Fest in Grapevine, Texas. So this morning I took care of this. Gonna go grab some lunch, and I have all my gear ready to go for the next shoot. So I didn't know how long this one was gonna last, how big of a shoot it was gonna be. They had me for 4 hours, but it ended up taking about 2.5 hours instead. So I have a little bit of time before I head off to my next location. So I'm gonna get that taken care of. Just parked for the festival. Found myself a nice little parking spot right next to a gate to go into it. There's free parking, paid parking, all kinds of parking. I found a good spot. This was open right here, and the lady was like, well, if you can fit, you can get in here. She didn't think there was room for me, but the reason I purchased this van over a longer one is for situations like this. I'm barely sticking out, and I'm flush back there on the line, but I'm able to park where normal trucks can park as well. So this gave me some versatility. I do have access from the side and from the back, which is great. And the tenant will be there at all times while I'm working the event. So I feel real secure with this parking spot. It's gonna be supervised and watched. It's not in a big lot or a dark lot in the middle of nowhere. So I'm really starting to like the decision I made with this van. So now we're gonna carry on to working Grape Fest. What are you doing here?
Oh, just hanging out at Grape Fest with my wife. So
awesome,
yeah.
awesome. How do you know me?
I know you through Facebook.
Facebook,
so I see your
awesome.
face all the time on there.
Awesome. Well, hey man,
yeah.
You made it onto the YouTube
Yes.
vlog.
Oh, thank you.
Here at Grape Fest in Grapevine, Texas, running the Easy Rig and Gimbal with the Grapevine Police. They've been awesome so far. Haven't had any incidents to report, so we're all good.
Let's keep it that way.
I've had many questions about why I use my setup and the way it's set up, and why don't I just run a gimbal. And here's the reason why. You can see this is my Easy Rig setup. It has the stable G2 and it's really smooth. You could actually see the shake right there in that little round thing, which is a kind of like a bumper for the Easy Rig, but you see the camera's not shaking. It's absorbing all the shake and all the movements. Also the spring is as well. This keeps me really flexible and has the ability for me to move quickly and have a very small footprint. I'm at a festival. We're going to be elbow to elbow a lot of times with people squeezing in through crowds, and I need to be able to get low shots, high shots, and consistent shots, moving shots. I'm walking backwards. I'm walking forwards. I'm trying to do some parallax movements. And with this setup, I can shoot all day. I shot for 4 hours practically straight. I only had like a 10 to 15 minute break to use the restroom and wait for my next person to show up. And I was able to move nonstop. I have a V-mount battery. You can actually see the people I'm filming there, and it's real simple. It's like, okay, I got that shot, and then I need to move to a different position. And then I run. I can run and move to that next position without issue, or speed walk, whatever the case may be. Turn around, and here we go. Set up, hit record, and I'm ready to go again. It's that fast. There's no fumbling around. There's no fighting anything, and there's not stuff getting in my way. And I could drop to a knee. I could get real low. I could get real high, and I have that versatility, and it's been amazing to use. So we have another viewer of the YouTube channel. What's your name?
Luke Asper.
Luke Asper. So what are you doing here at Grape Fest?
So I own a video photography company here down the street. So we're shooting for the city of Grapevine.
Oh, awesome,
So, yeah,
awesome.
so, yeah.
That's really cool. So I'm running around shooting for the police department.
Oh, nice.
So it's awesome. We cross paths.
Yeah.
So we're chatting it up, and it's hot, but it's not as hot as it was last week or the week before.
Very true.
That wraps up my day for Saturday. I had 2 gigs, 2 half days. Ended up being really good. First one was early morning, ended up taking 2.5 hours. Had 4 hours out here at Grape Fest, and it was easy to do. It wasn't too terrible. Had a good break in between so I could eat. So now I'm off to sleep, home, eat, sleep, and then more work tomorrow. So that's the grind of a freelancer, is non-stop, over and over and over again. You can have back-to-back, late nights, early mornings, but you just got to keep going, and you can't let stuff slip by. And that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to stay on the grind. So if you need help with the gig, or you have something coming up here in the DFW, Dallas area, Fort Worth, let me know. Even Austin, Houston, I'm able to come out and help. And let's make money together, and let's be successful. It was a busy week, but I was able to shift one of my clients around and was able to make it out with my friend Ryan Mitchell to David Moorfield's meetup that he had in Dallas. Also, the cranky cameraman made it all the way up from San Antonio, and a lot of other great creatives that are local to the area and from out of the area. And another one that you may follow, Joel, actually made it out as well. It was great seeing everyone.